what were my skills gaps when I started my business was pretty much everything. It really is that you are back at school, back at kindergarten with regard to business, and every single day you learn something. Oh my God, that is a cracker of a question, and it is different to everyone. The first thing that you do when you start a business, you understand what skills gap you've got. So you might be really good at sewing, right? And you've created this amazing textile business, or you may be incredible at cooking and you want to create a cooking business. That's okay that you're good with that. That's awesome. But then you've got to consider your skills gap. What aren't you great at? So when you sort of look at what were my skills gaps when I started my business, was pretty much everything. I didn't come from a business background. In actual fact, I don't think I'd ever even hired anyone in my life. I didn't know about GST. I didn't know about anything in business. So my skills gap were pretty easy to identify. It was everything. But some of the key things people find difficult is, first and foremost, is how do I fund it? Yeah, you have this great idea, but everything costs money. Staff costs money, product costs money, you name it. There's a dollar attached to it. So funding is a really important one. And so it's important you work out how do you fund it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is people. You may know what you need to do. You may know your product, but you only have 24 hours in a day, and some of that you actually got to sleep. So it's really difficult to find enough time. So really for me is I just spent my whole time understanding that I'm not the expert, but I am and will always be the student. And so when you're starting up a business from scratch, it really is that you are back at school, back at kindergarten with regard to business, and every single day you learn something. So the first thing I do is I try and source people out that have been there before, right? And even to this day, I've been in business for over nearly 30 years, and I've actually got a project I'm working on now that I have a skills gap in. So I'm contacting people who have been successful in that space before, and I sit down and I do a report. So I am always a student. The hardest thing that happens when you start a business, back to the question, is that it's actually not hard. It's just you got to do the work. And the more work you do, the less mistakes you do. Good luck.